So it's roughly midday on the 17th of April. Very blowy, as you can probably hear. So I'm in St Lawrence, out on the coastal path, and I'm just going to walk that way, walk west along the coastal path. Come along with me if you wish to do so. Lots of buzzards around today. It's quite breezy, quite chilly. Just there's Woody Bay there. Oh, I can feel some drops of rain in the air. But there is a blue sky further beyond, that's the way it's coming from. Might get a bit wet initially. There's a lovely woody head with Woody Bay this side of it. Yuck, drizzly. Sugarloaf. Looking west. Let's go that way. Nice to see cowslips flowering along here. Hopefully they'll spread out into this pasture, given a bit more time. It used to be fertilised, which would obviously prevent the wildflowers from recovering. But as far as I can tell, it's no longer fertilised, so hopefully it will turn back into species-rich grassland, which will be lovely. There's plenty of wildflowers still along the coastal path along here, so good source of wildflowers to seed and gradually spread out from the margins. Sugarloaf, like I said. Kestrel just flew past. Hopefully I can get round here. The little bit of cliff here's fallen away, so yeah, just about, a bit precarious, a bit narrow. I'm hoping I can still get along further up, where also there's been quite a lot of cliff erosion. Haven't been along here for a little while. Used to come along here loads. One of my favourite bird watching walks. Less these days though. So a quick shout out for people that continued to support my video creation efforts, making donations. That's incredibly kind of you. Wow. Cracking view of High Hat over there. Follow the Undercliff, the Inner Cliff around. Ventnor Downs is obscured by Sugarloaf, but Ventnor Downs is just beyond there. I love this walk because it's so quiet. You seldom really bump into anyone along here. Especially now that there's been so much land slippage along here towards Binnel Bay. Even so though, prior to that, it's still a very quiet walk. A few local dog walkers, a few tourists in summer. people hiking along the coastal path. But it's never that busy, as you can tell from the fact that the path is not very well defined. This is a part of the national coastal path, believe it or not. So linnet's calling. These little green sand outcrops is where a lot of the wildflowers have held on. A lot of this grassland has been fertilised quite a lot in the past, which has knocked out all the wildflowers, but more difficult to fertilise these mounds, and that's where the wildflowers have held on. You can see primroses. So they'll gradually seed out now the fertiliser's stopped. One thing that wildflowers hate is fertiliser. That's why a lot of the fields you see grazed by cattle and sheep are devoid of wildflowers apart from daisies and buttercups, because most of our native meadow species and grassland pasture species don't like fertiliser at all. They like it infertile, as it would be in nature. Stunning bit of beach, look at that, beautiful little cove, and don't know if this one's got a name. Tell me in the comments section if this little bay has a name. It's become a lot more pronounced as the cliff has gradually eroded back. It's become it's more of a cove really, I would say. Beautiful. It really is narrowing down the coastal path along here. They every so often they move the fence line back a bit to keep the coastal path open. My microphone kind of slipped under a bit of clothing there, so the sound quality may have been awful. I apologise if it was. I was banging on about wildflowers. Oh, trying to break my neck there. So a bunker there that's been converted into a residence of some sort. This little reed bed here, little wet area, is very good for migrating birds. Lots of food in there because it's wet and diverse, so you get lots of migrant birds coming down to feed in spring and autumn. So these two are pillboxes, kind of buried in earth mounds and scrub, but there are pillboxes there, and that's where the swallows used to nest. But unfortunately the entrances were blocked up, denying the swallows access, so now they don't nest here, which is a real shame. Used to be lovely along here in summer with all the swallows. You still get swallows, but they're just passing through, they're not actually nesting here anymore. Simple remedy is just to open up so the swallows can get back into where they used to nest, but she'll have to ask the farmer if he is prepared to do that. If anyone knows the farmer, I know the landowner is a Twinings tea fame, somebody from the Twinings family. So if you know that person, maybe you can ask that person to unblock the holes so the swallows can get back into these little pill boxes or whatever they were. I assume these concrete blocks held up a mast of some sort, 2 masts. Tell me in the comments section again if you know the backgrounds and history to these scrubby mound pillbox type things. I remember when I was younger the cattle used to go into those as well as the swallows. It's a heron. come out this end in a second, I think. There he is, one grey heron. Popping back down to another pond, presumably. Going to go along a little way. Where's he going to land? Gone down. Oh, there he goes. Presumably there's some... Oh no, he's coming back again. Can't decide where to land. Just in the field. Probably hunting for mice. They don't only eat fish, they quite like mice and voles, herons. Anything a bit meaty. Yeah, so tell me what these things are. Did they hold up aerials, masts of some sort? Always wondered. Some linnets calling, little group of linnets. Probably can't hear them. That's a chilly breeze. Really chilly. Lots of cowslips and lesser celandines. More chunks of green sand in what is otherwise quite chalky soil. So a lot of the wildflowers you get along here like the chalk. So let me know if you've ever been along here. Do you know this part of the Isle of Wight? I call it Old Park Field, St Lawrence. So you might have noticed in the description for this video and other videos going forward, I've added my little Amazon wish list, which basically has some items in it that I'm hoping to get for my van life and video creation lifestyle. So if you wish to support any of that, do check out that list. Yeah, and thanks to everyone who's supporting the channel. It's humbling really that people are enjoying the videos. To the extent that they wish to support, it's really, really good. So thank you for that. There's a Ventnor radar station over there. You can see it now. Try and zoom in a bit. There's the radar station. Up on Ventnor Downs. God, this is a cliff has been eaten in quite a bit here by the winter storms. I'll be having to move this bit of fence line quite soon, I think. It's a lovely house there. What a place to live that would be. And just over there, coming into view, is St Catherine's Point Lighthouse. Binnel Bay, Puckaster Cove. Binnel Bay this side, and then Puckaster Cove a little further along. And then Castle Cove, or Castle Haven I think it's called. And then St Catherine's Point. And there's the lighthouse. And here's some lovely blackthorn in full flower. So around Ventnor it's kind of gone off now. Gone off a bit early because of all the wind. But this patch, which is in the wind, seems to still be going strong, which is very nice to see. The bees will be very happy. Bees and flies and various other bits and pieces. They love blackthorn. This old Angelica's beginning to go over now, but still plenty of bugs on it, drinking the nectar. Haven't seen a single wheat here. That's what I would have thought I'd see along here, because they love these rocky outcrops and the grassy sward, short sward for hunting bugs. Could be anywhere here really. You wouldn't expect it to be the Isle of Wight, would you? So here and Purbeck are my favourite bits of coastline, on the south coast at least. Well, and the Lizard Peninsula probably is my third favourite. Bit of the path falling away there. And more primroses. I particularly like this little stretch that's coming up, where the coastal path broadens a little bit, and you've got this little hillock on the left hand side. Don't know why I like it, but I do. Beautiful. Made all the better because it's on the chalk, which means the wildflowers are really lovely as well. I do love Cornwall and the coastline there, but it's all acidic, so you don't get quite the diversity of wildflowers and stuff as you do here on the chalk. Get plenty of specialist wildflowers on the granite of the Lizard and whatever, but I still prefer the chalk. Chalk and limestone. The limestone in Purbeck's lovely as well. So with any luck I'm going to be able to get into Binnel Bay. Don't know, obviously the big landslides were just up there that's occurred in St Lawrence, and I'm hoping Binnel Bay is still accessible. Lovely slab of green sand. A bit more acidic, the green sand, compared, I assume, compared to the chalk. See if I can find some thrift. Certainly can. That's thrift, isn't it? It's not flowering, but that's the stuff. Does that mean this is more acidic? Tell me in the comments. I think thrift likes it. Either sandy or just acidic soils. I might be wrong there, but tell me what you reckon. It's not flowering, which is a shame. So sea pink is another name that the gardeners use. So if you want a taste of the coast, thrift or sea pink is a really good species to grow. It does love salt spray, forms these hillocks. It's the same stuff. And there's a Binnel Bay. Binnel Bay to Parcaster Cove. This section of coastline is inaccessible in terms of going along the coast itself. I suppose you could scramble along the rocks and get to St Catherine's Point. I never do that. I don't think I've ever done that. But there's also a path that goes through the kind of wild landslip here. But I think it's all been closed off because of the latest ground movement that's occurred in this area. Just up there. Like I say, I'm hoping I can get round. There's some thrift in flower, or just coming into flower. Little pink flowers, not quite open yet, but they will be. So the path used to go through there. Wow, it's completely fallen away now. And it's part of the National Coastal Path. Is it the Queen Elizabeth Coastal Path or something? National Path. They diverted it slightly inland and created this little route, which is really nice little route through here. England Coastal Path. I love this new little section that was created. Takes you through this little patch of sycamore woodland. It's very beautiful. This was completely hidden prior to the path being diverted, and it's lovely. So if you're a bird watcher looking for rare birds in October, this is the sort of place you'd come to. Looks very good for red-breasted flycatcher up in these sycamores, wind-blown sycamores, or a red-flanked bluetail down here, or some American grey-cheeked thrush, something like that. Dream on. Not even a chiff-chaff. I'm going to risk taking the microphone off in a minute, so you can hear a bit more of the non-existent bird song. Tamarisks down there, sycamore, lots of ivy. Linnets flying overhead. Well, I'm going to risk taking the microphone off now. I hope the wind noise isn't too irritating. Hopefully there won't be too many gusts of wind, and you can still hear me clearly enough. Walking through tamarisks now. That's what this stuff is. just coming into leaf. It's a nightmare from a bird watching point of view, tamarisks, because the birds absolutely love it, the chiff-chaffs and willow warblers, that kind of stuff, but they don't get hidden in it. These little, can't see that, can you? See if I can focus on my hand. Yeah, these are spiny leaves. They're not spiny, they're very soft, but seem to really mask little green and yellow birds. Surprise, surprise. Right, it's going to get a little bit blowy down here, so I apologise for the wind noise. I mean, it's not that windy, but it's windy enough to be annoying for the people listening. But we'll go up in a second. Guys, a lot of water coming down here. Try and put it back into focus, might help. Wow, that is a lot of water coming down. I mean, there's always water coming down here, but it's not usually quite this volume. So I'm not actually going to go down onto the shore, but remind me what the name of this folly is. Somebody's folly, I can't remember whose. Somebody built a structure there, kind of a, I don't know, a harbour-y type landing stage for boats. There's some casts. Have a view of the lighthouse. Going to go up this way. Hopefully I can do the loop around, otherwise I've got to walk back the way I came. I always like to do loops rather than go back on myself. So I think my phone is going to run out of a storage space soon. One of the reasons why I need a better device to record these videos on, really. Blackcap tacking away. Chiff-chaff calling. So I will do a video going up that way soon. Don't know what the situation is up there in terms of being able to get through because of the landslip, but there are two major landslips on the island at the moment. Well, they've occurred within the Undercliff. Fresh ones. One is at the landslip itself, which is where the Devil's Chimney and Smuggler's Haven tea rooms is. So it's a fairly catastrophic one there that closed Leeson Road, which is still closed. And then there's this other one here, just up there in St Lawrence. Which hasn't affected this lower section of the coastal path, thankfully. So I can walk through here, but has had a pretty dramatic effect just up there. Sadly, there's a dunnock on the fence. Hedge sparrow or hedge accenter. It's not a sparrow, but it is an accenter. So totally unrelated to house sparrows and tree sparrows. One of those species that kind of evolved to follow wild boar around. When wild boar used to be very common in the British landscape, robins and dunnocks used to follow them around, as did song thrushes and blackbirds. All that rootling around, the disturbing the ground, is what exposes all the insects. Now, because we killed all the wild boar, or most of them, there's a few around still, The robins and dunnocks depend on us to do our gardening and cultivate the allotments. Green woodpecker over there. Not ideal if you're a dunnock or a robin. You really want wild boar back. Not ideal if you're a wild boar either, because they quite like to be back in their home grounds of the British countryside. Sorry about the silence along that section. It's a bit sad really to see all the landslides there. And I wasn't sure if this path would be open, but it certainly appears to be. So yeah, just going up onto Undercliff Drive now. There's new cracks everywhere along this section of path. It's only just been redone, that bit of coastal path. Now this looks closed. Yeah, so don't go down that way, people. I came up and there was no sign at the bottom, so. But yeah, that area is best avoided. Wow, it is warm now, out of the breeze and in the full sun. Look at these cracks. Hopefully now it's relatively dry. Most of the water from last autumn will have moved through the system. So with any luck, these land slippages will have settled down a bit. Fingers crossed. I heard what I assume is a greenfinch call just up there. Pretty sure there are greenfinches here, I can't remember. Just make sure it's not a serin. Just one call from up there. Pretty sure it's a greenfinch. Sun has gone in momentarily, which is good because I was getting too warm. I assume I can get through here. Ah, peace and quiet again. Almost. Black cat tacking away at me there. It's the Hampshire and Isle of Wight Wildlife Trust Nature Reserve there. St Lawrence Undercliff Wood, I think it's called. Nice spot. Smart little building, that one. Love to know the background to that. So it's around about now that I remind everyone to subscribe to this channel if you've not already done so. Press the like button to this video. It's been a bit long-winded. I know not everyone likes the longer videos, but I try and create long and short ones. Mix it up a bit. And if there's a video you particularly like, then you can press a little thanks button and make a donation. Be interesting to see which videos turn out to be the most popular via that route. Well, I'm not going to put the microphone back on, even though it's a bit breezy here. So I apologise for the wind noise, if there is any, which I think there will be. Another smart round house. Lovely house with a thatched roof there. Little collection of thatched roofs. Need to know something about the history of these houses, I think. Oh, goldfinches singing like mad up there. They're so common these days, goldfinches. Head down this way back to the van. Which of course is a car, not a van. Once a van dweller, always a van dweller. Opinions. Should I change my channel name to Cornish Car Dweller? Or even Coastal Car Dweller? You may have noticed I'm not in Cornwall right now. I will be again soon for a period. But I'm always on the coast and I'm in a car. So Cornish Van Dweller, maybe Coastal Car Dweller. Can't really think of a... I mean, I could go back to Vectis Van Dweller, which was the original channel name. So Vectis is obviously the Roman name for the Isle of Wight, I think, I gather. And then Puscat. So I could go back to calling it Vectis Van Dweller, which works. But I quite like Coastal Car Dweller, given I'm now in a car, not in a van. Don't know, what do you reckon? Give me your comments. Give me your feedback, dear listeners. Or I could just get another van, which I can't because I can't afford it. But at some point I will get a van, because it's just going to be too hot in that car. It's almost too hot overnight as it is. Such a tiny space that the heat really builds up just from my body heat. And we're only in April, so we've not had particularly warm weather. I mean, it's not been cold by any means, but it's not been hot, other than in the van by about 3 in the morning, which I think is when it's coldest outside, but really warm in the car. There she is. There's Flea, sat there on the corner waiting for me. That's definitely a car, not a van. Anyway, yeah, do subscribe to the channel, like the video, follow me over on my other YouTube channel, Steve Jones Wild Writer, a link to which is in the description to this video below. And thank you again, everyone who's supporting me in terms of making donations. That's really much appreciated. Thank you very much. Do check out my Amazon link if you so desire. And I'll see you at the next video. I'm not going to show you the inside of my car because it's a right mess. But there it is. And there's me.